Good morning, folks. The Typhoon has taken a turn for the worst. A rapid strengthening event took place over the last 18 hours, and we now classify this as a super typhoon, an unstoppable disaster heading for the southern coastline of Japan. May the force be with all those on smaller islands in the storm zone now. I mean that in every way you could interpret it. By the way, look at the Earth spot match here, some of the best penumbral line corollaries we've ever seen on our planet. If you haven't seen the Earth spots hypothesis, it's under Electric Earth and Sun at the website. Two convergences cresting southwest Australia and a high precipitable water market northern New Zealand. Clouds match up pretty well there. In Europe, we do still have the strong North Atlantic low muscling moisture eastward, but the primary watch zone tonight is for bad lightning to the south off the Mediterranean. Having not moved much here, we must issue a flood threat for the areas beneath this line of storms. Last but not least, we see the remnants of both Arthur and Douglas off the coastlines here, but the real weather danger today will affect millions and millions of people right in the middle of the states. The convergence will shift eastward slightly tonight, and this is the epitome of warm, moist air clashing with cooler, dry air for a showdown of atmospheric equalization above our heads. Of course, we pay the price below. Solar wind. When it tries to make a push, it barely gets to 300 kilometers per second. Density is moderate only. Sometimes you don't need either for a reading. The phi angle of the solar wind is a circular chart, meaning you can go off one side and come out the other. And for the better part of the last day, we see a twirling dive and south-pointing shift to the energetic particles. It's nothing major, just a tidbit, and it explains the readings on the sensitive electron flux this morning. Surprise, surprise. Sunspot number of 256, and yet we still got nothing. And yeah, that's an absurdly high sunspot number. So let's take a look at them. As much I'd love to go delta hunting across our star, there are truly only two groups of interest. The big ones, directly Earth-facing. We eyed the penumbral umbra in the evening news last night. It's not as strong today, but it still definitely looks like a double umbra shell concentrically emanating from the umbral core. The best chance for magnetic mixing is probably still this lateral spread behind it, with finger-like umbras reaching back towards the middle. Let's have a look at NASA's plot of the magnetic connections to our star. Venus is still on the back with the dotted line, but Mars, Mercury, and, Earth as well, still stuck together, co-mingling interplanetary fields to be sure. Positive coronal hole exiting up north, negative coronal hole coming in down south and reaching upwards towards the equator with some above-average force for the most part. It is now clearly visible coming in here in 211 angstroms, and this marks the end of a long-duration positive influence from our star. The negative is coming, likely today, likely before the evening news. Response to Dr. Uyen's piece on Fly on the Wall is exactly what we expected. Indeed, one of the most important discussions we've had. Thanks for the good words on that and the super flood discussion as well. Got shots of our star to close. Eyes open. No fear. It's 6:25 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's the news. Be safe, everyone.